Cool Mini or Not has a title that I've just seen, and now I want to let you know about it. Cyberpunk 2077, Gangs of Night City. This is for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up, and should take you about 90 to 120 minutes to play. Cyberpunk 2077, Gangs of Night City is a big box strategy game with miniatures in which gangs fight for control of a city, with the city also being a living part of the game. 1 to 4 players take on the role of ruthless gangs vying for control of the underground and glittering hellhole that is Night City. Clash with other gangs in the meat or on the net, as your enterprising band of toughs seek to gain dominance over the criminal underworld that rules the streets. Only the boldest will be remembered, and your street cred will pave the way to the top. In single-player mode, you are pitted against the opposing gang and an edge runner in a free-for-all Night City. In the game, players assume the role of a gang leader, with you organizing your gang members to take power in the city. Your actions affect not only your gang and your opponents, but the city itself. Each gang has different attributes and goals, giving each player a different gaming experience. Oh, that's what the publisher has to say about the title, and that's one of the things that caught my attention with it. Now, this game, right up front, let me tell you that this game is based on a video game, Cyberpunk 2077. I've never played the video game, so this is going to be coming from a perspective of just a board gamer, and seeing how this looks, how this sounds, from that point of view. So if you've played the video game, please put in the comments what you think of how it's been translated to a board game. Now, I am a fan of sci-fi settings, especially the sci-fi dystopian settings. And when you have something that looks like sci-fi meets the Warriors, I want to know more about that damn game. And that is what's been pulling me in to get more information on this. This does seem like a sci-fi dystopian world of the Warriors. But with each gang having its own goals, it really broadens things up, I think. Now, this is by Cool Mini or Not, and when Common does something, they go all out on the miniatures. And these, from what I'm seeing, look absolutely beautiful. The ones people have painted, as well as just the plain unpainted ones that come with this big, huge box. And there's a lot of minis. There's over 100, it looks like. And tell you the truth, if you're running gangs, you're going to need a lot of representation. And when you see them all out on the board, when I'm looking at the photos online, it does look like a hot mess. No, I mean that in a good way. It looks like a clusterfuck. I mean, there are just so many. You're having a gang war. So, of course, you're going to need a lot of miniatures, a lot of figures to represent that. And they come through with this. Wow. Do they ever come through with this? And they look great. Wow, they do. I want to see more. I want to see them in real life. I want to see them on my table, even though I don't paint. Everything I'm reading about the game, whether it's from a publisher or whether it's from a reviewer, things that I'm seeing online, it gives me the sensation that much like what they're saying about the video game, the board game has done a really good job of simulating in a game form gangs. Especially with the fact that you are running the gang leader. You're not a gang member, which makes this sort of a worker placement game in a sense, although it's not really listed as one. Area movement, area majority influence. But having all of these men under your control, these men, these women, this fighting force of street thugs, it looks like a hot mess, and it should. So that's a good thing. Now, this game is listed, as I said, for 14 and up. This game also simulates gang violence. It simulates street violence. And it simulates it in a very dark way. So, just going into this, you know your kids, I don't, but I just wanted to bring that point forward to let you know that I'm aware of this and I'm not trying to whitewash it. It is about street and gang violence. So keep that in mind, but always get as much information as you can before making a snap judgment. A lot of the reviewers that I'm seeing are talking about a fast-paced action of this game, that this game takes off, running. I like that. I like I like it to feel like there's action. And if a game's pace isn't fast, how can it be action-packed? And I'm not seeing anything negative about that. I like that. It seems that this is a very action-orientated, fast-paced game. And that's good. Because when you're trying to simulate gang violence, gang fights, gang wars, gang members on gang members, things are going to be happening chaotically fast. I do believe that, as it's been reported, as I've seen, this game is probably going to have some levels of high replayability. Not only because each of the gang members, each of the gangs themselves are all different, have differences than before, have different goals, different needs. It is going to play differently because of that, which is going to give you more replayability. But just the vast amount of scenarios that they have packed into this deeply strategic game, I think helps to add even more levels of replayability than just the fact that you have different gangs with different goals. I mean, right now, the way I'm looking at it, like I said earlier, I have not played the video game. And yet, everything I'm seeing from the publisher, from reviewers, photos online, it's gotten me interested. So therefore, the game does have a level of interest outside of fans of the video game. So if, like me, you haven't played the Cyberpunk video game, don't worry about it. You don't need to. There doesn't seem to be any reason that you're going to have to go back and learn something, read something, or experience the video game itself in order to enjoy this. None of that. Don't worry about it. Everything points to the fact that you could just jump. And I like that. You could just jump right into this without knowing or having a history with the existing IP. That's great. That's the way every single game that gets its source from somewhere else, like a movie, a book, a video game. Every time a board game does this, it needs to do it in a broad enough way so that people like me, and maybe you, who don't know the core original material, the book, the movie, the video game, will still get excited, still be interested in this board game. I think they've captured that. That's great. That's great. Altogether, I'm excited about this. This is why it's on my radar. Besides the fact that it's a strategic game about sci-fi, gang violence, and the cyberpunk style, and the streets, I just think it's fascinating. The idea that this has an option to play solo. That's great. It's a great way to learn a game. It's a great way to experience a game before your buddies get to the game table and you have to then explain the rules to them. If you've already had a chance, like solo player mode, to sit down and play a game through, you are going to have a much better understanding of it, better way to experience the game, and to teach the rules to other players. Now, I haven't seen anything yes or no about the rules of this system being difficult or being easy, being friendly, being organic, or whatever. I kind of take that as a good sign, right? I mean, if no one is saying anything bad, then that's a good thing. So I'm imagining that the rules to this are not that overly complicated. But still, play it solo. Before you run the game down with your family, your friends, your gaming buddies, play it solo first, get an experience for it. Also, this is a competitive game, so if you play it solo and you get to learn the game first, you're going to have an edge over everyone else. Now listen, don't listen to a word that anyone on YouTube has to say when they're telling you how to spend your damn money. Okay? Don't listen to them. I'm not doing anything here but just giving you information. And you need to go get more information. If anything I've said here, if any of the photos that I've shown you have caught your attention, go find more information on Cyberpunk 2077, Gangs of Night City. And, the best way to learn whether you're going to like a game or not, I've always said this, watch playthroughs. Watch playthroughs. Yeah, go find some. Get some more information. Inform yourself. Don't be influenced. And go inform yourself more on Cyberpunk 2077, Gangs of Night City.